they say Stoicism means being emotionless, cold, indifferent, as if the Stoic man walks through life untouched, unmoved, uncaring. But that's not Stoicism. That's a misunderstanding. Stoicism was never about suppressing emotions. It was about mastering them. It's not about turning away from the world. It's about facing it eyes open, heart steady. You don't need to fake strength. You don't need to pretend things don't hurt. Stoicism teaches something deeper, that pain is not the enemy. That fear is not the master. That peace is possible not by changing the world, but by changing how you meet the world. And in a time where everything moves faster, where attention is currency, and outrage is everywhere, what if the real power is not in shouting louder, but in standing still? What if the answers we seek aren't hidden in the next trend, but buried in ancient words, written by men who faced chaos too, and chose reason over reaction? This is not just a philosophy. This is a way of being. And it might be exactly what you've been searching for. Before we explore what Stoicism truly is, we must first clear away what it is not. Stoicism is not apathy. It is not the absence of feeling. It is not pretending that pain doesn't hurt or that loss doesn't sting. It's not the mask you wear to look unshaken, and it's certainly not about being passive. Too many confuse stillness with numbness. But the Stoic is not numb. He is awake. He feels. He sees. He just doesn't let emotion dictate his reason. Stoicism doesn't ask you to suppress your humanity. It demands that you refine it. You are not meant to become a stone. You are meant to become strong enough to stand in the storm without crumbling. It's not about withdrawing from life. It's about stepping into life with eyes that see clearly and a heart that doesn't panic. The Stoic does not run from the fire. He walks through it carefully, consciously, because he understands something simple and rare. What happens outside is not who I am inside. You may feel deeply. You may care fiercely. That doesn't disqualify you from Stoicism. It qualifies you if you can master what you feel, instead of being mastered by it. So no, Stoicism is not a prison of emotionless living. It is the quiet training of the soul to remain upright, even when the world tries to bend you. So then, what is the core of Stoicism? It begins with a single idea, simple on the surface, but life-altering once understood. There are two kinds of things in this world: those you can control, and those you cannot. You can't control the weather. You can't control what people say about you. You can't control the outcome of every plan, but you can control how you respond. You can control your judgments, your actions, your effort, and your attitude. This is what Epictetus taught. He said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Ignore this distinction, and life becomes a storm. Accept it, and you find stillness in the chaos." But Stoicism doesn't stop there. It teaches that what truly matters is not how things appear, but whether they are in line with virtue. Virtue, that old word. But to a Stoic, it's the only true good. Not pleasure, not fame, not wealth. Only the strength of your character. There are 4 Stoic virtues. Wisdom, seeing things clearly. Courage, acting rightly, even when afraid. Justice, doing what's fair, even when it costs you. Temperance, choosing balance over excess. To live well is to live with these 4 guiding you. They're not decorations. They're not slogans. They are disciplines to be trained every day. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but in private he trained his thoughts like a soldier trains his body. He reminded himself that insult is just noise, that pain is temporary, that anger is weakness wearing the mask of strength. Seneca, a wealthy statesman, spoke often of death, time, and detachment. Not to be morbid, but to live urgently and with meaning. And Epictetus, once a slave, taught that a man is not free if he cannot govern his mind. Different men, different ranks, same resolve, They didn't live easy lives, but they lived principled ones. And that's the core of Stoicism. It's not about retreating from life. It's about engaging with it fully, but on your terms, with a clear mind and steady heart. The world can be loud. You don't have to be. The world can be unjust. You don't have to join it. The world can tempt you toward comfort, but Stoicism calls you to clarity. This is not a quick fix. It's a lifelong practice. And it begins the moment you stop asking, "What happens to me?" and start asking, "How will I choose to respond?" Why does Stoicism still matter today? Because the world may have changed, but the human condition has not. We still feel fear, still carry grief, still chase pleasure, and avoid pain. We still crave control, in a world that refuses to be controlled. And never before have we been so constantly pulled in 1,000 directions. Notifications, deadlines, comparisons. We are overwhelmed by information, but starving for wisdom. This is where Stoicism enters, not as a relic, but as a remedy. You don't need to live in ancient Rome to experience chaos. Open your inbox, check the news, look in the mirror. Anxiety, anger, jealousy, burnout. These aren't rare conditions. They're modern norms, but they don't have to be. The Stoics taught that external events don't disturb us. Our judgment about them does. It's not the traffic, it's your impatience. It's not the comment, it's your interpretation. It's not failure itself, but your belief that failure defines you. The Stoic trains himself to respond, not react. He doesn't suppress emotion, he examines it, questions it, asks, "Is this within my control? Is this worthy of my energy?" In a time when outrage is rewarded, the Stoic chooses restraint. In a world addicted to attention, he practices presence. In an age of performance, he values authenticity. He doesn't try to control what he can't. He masters what he can, his thoughts, his actions, his principles. That's radical in any century. And today, it's nothing short of essential, because the noise is louder now. The distractions are infinite, and the pressure to conform, to impress, to achieve, it's constant. You're told to always be productive, to optimize, to hustle harder, but no one teaches you how to be still, how to be grounded, how to suffer well, how to lose without losing yourself. That's where Stoicism matters most. It reminds you that dignity is found not in how much you accumulate, but in how well you endure. That peace isn't a place you arrive at, but a posture you return to again and again. That success without virtue is just a louder form of emptiness, and that the most powerful thing you can do is to take full responsibility for your own mind. This isn't about being passive. It's about being principled. It's not about retreating from the world. It's about showing up, calm in the face of chaos, disciplined in a world of indulgence, rooted when everything else is shaking. And it's not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming deliberate, living slowly, in a culture of speed, choosing purpose, in a world of noise, acting with virtue, when no one is watching. That's why Stoicism still matters. Not because it's ancient, but because it's timeless. Stoicism is not meant to be admired from a distance. It's meant to be lived. Philosophy, the Stoics believed, was not a theory. It was a tool, a discipline of the soul. And like any discipline, it must be practiced. So how do you practice Stoicism today? You begin in the same place Marcus Aurelius did, with yourself. Start the day with clarity. Before the world makes demands of you, make time to return to your own mind. Ask, what kind of day am I likely to face? Traffic, interruptions, criticism. Prepare for them, not to resent them, but to meet them with composure. This is what Marcus did each morning in his journal. Not to complain, but to train. Use reflection instead of reaction. Something upsets you. Pause. Take a breath. Ask, is this within my control? Will this matter in a week, a month, a year? This is not a weakness. This is strength, governed by wisdom. Train to overcome voluntary discomfort. Seneca practiced going without, so he wouldn't be owned by luxury. You don't have to fast for days or sleep on the floor. But try this. Leave your phone behind for an hour. Choose silence over noise. Move your body when your mind resists. Not to suffer, but to remember, you are stronger than your cravings. Embrace journaling, not as a diary, but as a mirror. Write down your thoughts. Review your actions. Where did you live with virtue? Where did you fall short? No judgment, just awareness. The Stoic is not obsessed with being perfect, only with being better today than yesterday. Rehearse your values, not just your goals. The modern world tells you to focus on results, but the Stoic asks, what kind of person am I becoming? Let that question guide your choices. Not just what you achieve, but how you behave while striving. Practice presence. You don't need to meditate on a mountain. Just pay attention to the moment you're in, to the conversation you're having, to the task in front of you. When the mind is anchored, you're less likely to drift into worry or regret. And when you fail, as all humans do, don't curse yourself. Correct yourself. That's Stoicism. It's not a performance. It's a practice. Not about becoming emotionless, but becoming emotionally honest. Not about appearing strong, but being internally grounded. And the only way to get better at it is to begin quietly, consistently. Today, Stoicism is not a trend. It's not a quote to post, not a brand to wear. It's a way of life, a quiet discipline, a daily training of the soul. It does not promise comfort. It does not offer escape. What it offers is clarity and a kind of strength that doesn't shout. In a world obsessed with visibility, the Stoic chooses depth. He doesn't rush. He moves with purpose. He doesn't seek applause. He seeks alignment between what he believes and how he lives. That's Stoicism. Not perfection, but practice. Not control over the world, but mastery of self. Not indifference to life, but full engagement, without attachment to outcome. It asks you to be still when it's easier to react, to act with reason when emotion pulls you elsewhere, to choose virtue, again and again and again, because in the end, a good life isn't built on what happens to you. It's built on how you respond. That's what the Stoics knew. That's what they lived. And that's what you're invited to remember. Not just today, but every day.